Online. One man and his horse are recovering this morning after being hit by a car during a Christmas parade. Take a look at this video. You can see a police officer trying to flag down a car speeding through the parade in Spanish Fork. Yeah, that was a close call. Witnesses say that car ended up hitting Trent Anderson and his horse Duncan, both members of the Diamond Fork Riding Club. Witnesses say they have never seen a car bust through a barricade before. Anderson says he's just grateful it wasn't worse.
This won't slow us down at all. As soon as I'm feeling better and she's feeling better, we'll be back at it.
Well, both Anderson and his horse have just minor injuries. Police say the driver was taken into custody on suspicion of DUI. Police have a person in custody
held without bond.
To Spanish Fork, one man and his horse are recovering today after being hit by a car during a Christmas parade.
You hate to think what could have happened here. Take a look at the video. You see an officer trying to flag down and stop a car that speeds right through this intersection through the parade route in Spanish Fork. Witnesses say that car ended up hitting Trent Anderson and his horse Duncan, both members of the Diamond Fork Riding Club.
Oh my goodness. Witnesses say they have never seen a car burst through a barricade like this before. Anderson says he's just grateful it wasn't worse.
This won't slow us down at all. As soon as I'm feeling better and she's feeling better, we'll be back at it.
Anderson and his horse just have minor injuries. Police say the driver was taken into custody on suspicion of DUI.
Thankfully, nobody hurt there. Investigators trying to figure out what sparked a fire at an abandoned home in Salt Lake City. You can see here flames.
We do too. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, so go ahead and check it out. Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy.
All right, let's get back to the breaking news. We said we had a crew on the way. Shelby Lofton now arriving at Granger Elementary.
Yeah, Shelby, what can you tell us?
He already got it.
Yeah, sure. We're live right outside Granger Elementary. I want to give you a look at the scene. But first, let me tell you that police had responded to a report of shots fired, but they have confirmed there was no shooting at Granger Elementary. Take a look around here. We have dozens and dozens of police cars. We walked about 2 streets off 35th South in West Valley City to get to this scene. We have police everywhere, but we're being told that they are clearing up the scene. We're going to talk to them in a few minutes, so we'll have more information for you then. But a lot of worried parents. We talked to a lot of parents heading the way here. On the way here, they were trying to connect with their children, trying to connect with school officials. A lot of them said they didn't know what was happening. Again, officers responded to a report of shots fired, but there was no shooting here at Granger Elementary. Here's what we do know. Parents can pick up their children. I'll tell you where right now. They can pick up their children at the Redwood Swap Meet. That's at 3688 South Redwood Road, and you can enter from Redwood. So again, parents can pick up their students at Redwood Swap Meet. Now, I'll give you one last look at this scene here. Still very busy. We're expecting to hear from police in the next few minutes. We'll have an update for you then. We'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Right, Shelby, thank you. We're going to keep your live look here at the scene as we just got an update from the Granite School District. I'm going to read you what they just tweeted out. They said there was a false alarm incident at Granger Elementary earlier this morning, which we've been telling you about. A teacher in a classroom heard what they thought to be shots fired and contacted police. Those loud noises were from a science experiment in another classroom.
We're going to gather more information. It seems as though if that's going on in your classroom, maybe just a little update to the folks around. Hey, listen, we're going to combine some things in beakers or whatever it was. I mean, It's nothing to laugh at, because if you're a parent and you hear, oh, there's been a shooting at my child's school, you're getting to that school as quickly as you can.
And you know what? As a teacher, if you hear those noises, you're already on alert, protecting those children. You're going to, best case, you know what I mean? You're going to do what you need to do.
Sure.
So it turns out, though, it was some sort of a science experiment in another classroom, according to the Granite School District. That teacher thought that the noises that they heard were shots being fired, and that teacher called 911. So that's the very latest from the Granite School District. You saw that live look there. Parents, as we get more information about how you may want to handle the situation in terms of whether you come and get your kids or you don't, we'll certainly update you as well.
But this is the latest right outside Granger Elementary School in West Valley City. Back to you guys.
All right, Dan Rascone live outside the school for us. Really, as a parent, your emotions run the gambit here. I mean, you're all over the place. Is it something? Is it not? What do I do with my kid now? There's just a lot happening at the moment. And
kind of interesting to see. I hate to call it a dry run, but when something like this happens and they are prepared, law enforcement, school officials, parents, all of them, the kids in the classroom, they know what to do. And so let's get to Shelby Lofton out there as well, another location outside that school. Shelby, where are you? What are you seeing right there?
Yeah, Dan and Shara, we are now just around the corner. We are at a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints meeting house, and this is where the media staging area is. We were told just a couple minutes ago that the school is putting together its statement. Then they will read that statement to us. They'll take some of the questions we have, get some answers for you. Last we made the walk around by the school. We saw long lines of children making their way back inside the school, being escorted by police. But we do know that the situation is clearing up now. They're clearing up the scene. We saw a lot of police cars taking off. So again, in just a few moments, we're expecting to hear from the school district and get some clarification about what happened this afternoon. Back to you.
I think there's some general questions. First of all, you and I have been talking here on the set of should there have been a notice put out that some sort of experiment was happening in the school that could cause these kind of noises? Certainly just a really disruptive day for those students. And are there resources available to them now if they're feeling anxious in the school? So Shelby, we appreciate it. We'll jump back into that news conference as soon as they're ready to go. Thank you for your report.
That's kind of what we talked about when Camp Williams is going to be firing those munitions. You know, Lehigh, Saratoga, Harriman, Riverton, you know, be prepared, and you hear those booms. If somebody's in a classroom, again, we don't know the proper procedure of what they do district-wide, but what the good idea would have been to let somebody know beforehand there's going to be perhaps a loud noise. But again, better safe than sorry in this case.
Absolutely, better safe than sorry. And you viewers at home probably do the same thing. We put ourselves in the position of a parent in that scenario. You're feeling all kinds of things right now. You're scared, you're now confused, and what do you do now? Do you go pick your kid up? But what if you can't? What if you're at work? You know, there's a lot to kind of take in here and digest and figure out, was this the best way to handle it? And
from Columbine to Sandy Hook to Uvalde, so many questions about the response, about preparation ahead of time. And so in this case, officers erring on the side of arriving on the scene in force.
And they were quick.
They were quick there, and that's why it felt like there was so much, circling around that campus.
Yeah. All right, so as we mentioned, it's going to be a news conference. We will hear from West Valley Police. We'll hear from the Granite School District coming up. We'll hear what they have to say. So stay with us as we continue that coverage, and we'll jump into that as soon as they are ready. And
taking a look outside, we'll talk about weather once again as well. Boy, we saw some flakes.
Yeah, Sylvia, that's the latest out here. We'll of course have much more coming up on KSL 5 News at 5. Back to you, Shara.
Thank you very much. I mean, you all feel how she felt there.
Yeah, certainly parents feel that way. Granite School District now commenting on what happened. Let's listen in.
As soon as he gets it, we'll get it, right? All right, give me a second here.
All right, we're listening. Ben Horsley here from the Granite School District is the spokesperson. He is just getting those different microphones on. We will come to him as soon as he's ready to go. Here we go.
Well, I'm good. So Ben, what happened?
Sure. Approximately 11:30, 11:35 this morning, we had reports of shots being fired within Granger Elementary. That came through a 911 call to Valley Emergency Communications. That was redirected to Granite Police, and we have obviously a massive police response from just about every agency in the Valley. We're very appreciative of the tremendous response to this potential emergency. It turns out that this was a science experiment going on in the next classroom space with some volcanoes being developed and creating loud noises. And fortunately was a false report. Police were able to verify that after an extensive search of the building. Obviously, an emergency protocol was initiated, wherein a lockdown protocol was initiated. So students and staff remained in their classroom spaces. We did have some students off campus that remained off campus and were directed to the swap meet area. They were with a group of high school students for a tutoring program, Latinos in Action program, and those students were able to be reunified with the campus due to the circumstances and obviously some traumatic moments there for what was perceived to be an active shooter situation. We've notified parents that they are able to pick up their child early today if they choose to do so. If they're not able to do so, school is proceeding as normal otherwise, and we will have supervision, lunch, and other things, instructional activities throughout the remainder of the day, and the remaining students will be released at that time.
So you said it was a science experiment, volcanoes. Was it noises? Was it a teacher nearby that thought this might be a shooting?
That's my understanding, as the report came from several loud noises that the teacher who made the report indicated were gunshots.
Is the district reassessing its policy, maybe give the school a heads up, hey, we're doing these noisy science experiments and just, it's all safe here?
You know what? That is something that's already in policy.
In regards to what happened out here, sorry, am I going to send it back to you guys?
Yeah. Okay, Dan, you know what? We're going to hit you in just a moment here. We're going to go to Shelby Lofton with more on how this whole thing started and played out. Shelby, what can you tell us?
Mike and Deanie, we're right off of 35th South in West Valley City. Around noon today, this street was flooded with worried parents trying to reunite with their students and police officers up and down this road. We now know someone inside the school thought they heard gunshots, but it ended up being a noisy science experiment. This all started around 11:30 this morning. The Granite School District said that's when a teacher called 911 saying they thought they heard gunshots from inside the school. The school then went on lockdown. No one left the campus. There were some students that were off campus at the time. They were taken to the Redwood swap meet and not back to school because of lockdown policies. The district said nearly every police agency in the valley responded to the scene. They searched the school several times to make sure everyone inside was safe. Volcanoes being used in a science experiment were mistaken for gunshots. Spokesperson Ben Horsley said the school and the entire district are reviewing some policies. He said it is district policy for teachers to let staff members know about potentially loud activities happening inside the classroom. Horsley said no one will be punished for this. The teacher acted in the best interests of their students.
If somebody sees something or they hear something that makes them feel uncomfortable, they absolutely should report it. In this particular case, it would have been helpful also for the reporting teacher to also notify the front office.
And Horsley said when police got to campus, no one else at the school knew there was any kind of concern. He said the district would have liked to communicate more quickly with families. Many of those parents, we saw them picking up their students early around noon today. But for those who stayed, school carried on as normal. Back to you.
All right, Shelby, thank you. And the fear of the unknown was terrifying, as you would imagine, for parents out in just a few moments.
Turning to other news tonight, scary moments for parents after a false alarm about a shooting inside an elementary school in Granite School District. We have team coverage tonight from Granger Elementary, hearing from parents who rushed to get their kids and the message that they got from the district. But we're going to begin with new developments on what exactly happened to cause this scare. News specialist Shelby Lofton joins us live to explain. Shelby?
Yeah, Mike and Deanie, after that lockdown was lifted, the school day continued as normal, but we saw long lines of families here to pick up their students after an eventful morning.
Obviously, some traumatic moments there.
What a teacher thought were shots fired ended up being a noisy class project.
It turns out that this was a science experiment going on in the next classroom space with some volcanoes being developed and creating large, loud noises.
Granite School District spokesperson Ben Horsley said a teacher called 911 saying they heard gunshots.
There's loud noises to be had, and unfortunately it just appears there was a lack of communication or misunderstanding.
Nearly every police agency in the valley showed up at Granger Elementary School.
We tried to let parents know as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, we were getting various reports, and because of the miscommunication and the vast response, while we did not feel the report was credible, police were in the midst of searching the building.
Police ended up finding nothing during the lockdown. Horsley said the district wanted to tell families what was happening more quickly.
Communication is pretty critical in these types of situations, and probably could have been alleviated a lot of concern on the part of parents and the community as a whole with some additional communications.
He said the district applauds the actions the teacher took, but added they could have alerted the front office about the noises.
I think this is an opportunity to learn and grow, but at the same time, I would much rather have somebody report and call 911 when they see something suspicious or unsafe.
Horsley said the school and the rest of the district is going to review its communication policies. He said, for example, a teacher should be giving a heads up if there's going to be loud noises coming from a classroom. He said that's already protocol, but they're going to reiterate that to staff. Back to you.
All right, Shelby, thank you.
A false alarm, but a terrifying one for parents as they